Lots of people have been asking us why we're building a TMS, especially asking about 2024 load partner, what's happening to our AI platform, aren't we doing AI agents? Valid questions. First of all, we are still doing AI. We are actively building AI. Our Dart platform is alive and well. We are still working on new features there. We are rolling new things out for our customers. It's actively being maintained. We'll continue to do so through the rest of the year and foreseeable future. Looking back at 2024 and what we did there, we were really early on the scene for a lot of the AI work. We rolled out our AI track and trace solution officially like in April. We went live with it last year, but kind of announced it even earlier than that. I had a lot of good interest, and we talked to a lot of brokers in the process and heard a lot about the tech side for them. And we heard a lot of the same kind of feedback, which was often around their TMS. Specifically, brokers are tired of the gatekeeping TMSs, wanting different integrations to happen or features and not being able to get them prioritized. Maybe their vendors are just not interested in working with certain integration partners because they have their own preference. The bar to get into a TMS, having to sign contracts to even just see a TMS, no demos. And then, when they sign those deals, they get on a TMS. There's these leading providers that end up selling and getting bought by some super company, and the TMS just declines and they're kind of locked into that TMS and their business is built around it. And we saw that over and over in 2024 as we're talking to these brokers about how we can build AI, how we can add AI to their stack and to their processes. We saw a lot of these themes recurring. We saw an opportunity. A TMS is core to a brokerage. Businesses are built around them. Being locked into a vendor that doesn't have you first in mind, that's tough, especially when you're giving them money. They should be wanting to work with you and make your life easier. So we saw an opportunity. Looking forward into 2025, we decided that after saying no for all of 2024, we are going to build a TMS and jump into the arena. We didn't do this lightly. It wasn't a decision we just made one night. For a long time, we said we weren't going to build a TMS. People were asking us to build one. We're like, we're not doing it. There's tons of TMSs out there, a lot of great niche offerings that we appreciate. There's good TMSs out there, no doubt. So going into let's build a TMS, it was like, why? We need to have a purpose. To me, I was like, we should be open source, right? That was something Nick and I both agreed on. We want to be open source. There needs to be an open source TMS, something that a freight brokerage can adopt and really own the system if they want to. But we still needed more. It can't just be we're going to build another TMS and it's going to be open source. It needs to be different still. So beyond being open source, we did a lot of research into what brokerages really need, what are some common themes around brokerages that are looking for new TMSs or aren't happy. Small brokerages getting locked into certain vendors, or brokerages that have had proprietary TMSs in the past that have development teams now, even small ones. If you buy a TMS, what's that team going to do now? If you buy something off the shelf, they're not serviced. There's no options for them. They're kind of stuck in, I guess we got to build another one or maintain our current. We can build open source and make it extensible with options. Being open source means you can implement whatever you want. Your dev team, when you implement with LoadPartnerTMS, your dev team can start building stuff that we don't already support. They can change how it works internally. You can host it on your own hardware. You can host it in the cloud. You can kind of do what you want with it. And if you're someone that doesn't want to go that far, and you're like, I just like the drop-in solution, I like the support, we also will offer licensing and traditional SaaS models. So, if you just want hosted in the cloud, that's an option. If you want a license, you pay us to set this up on your servers, we can do that too. We kind of can serve you where you're at instead of forcing you into our model. Even if you pay for our SaaS offering or for us to set it up for you on premise, you still own the code. It's still an open source project, which means you can change your mind and say, you know what, actually, I don't want to pay for this anymore. Your team can just keep managing it. You don't get locked into, well, if we're going to stop, we got to figure out how to end our contract with the vendor and how the integration is going to play out. And no, it's yours. You own the data, you own the code, it's on your servers, you own your business. It's so vital to a brokerage, a TMS is. It's crazy we don't have an open source TMS yet. It needs to exist. It's 2025. We're going to build it. We're going to build an open source TMS focused around communications, kind of like an email TMS hybrid. You'll have your emails in the TMS right there, be able to see your inbox, but also manage your loads. A lot more of that'll come out as we're continuing down it. And we're not only going to be building open source, but we're going to be sharing the whole journey. We have streams every week, streaming development even just the day-to-day. You want to hop in and see how we're building certain things, you can do that. And it's a great way if you're someone that's a broker that you're a bit tech forward and you're like, I want to potentially move to this TMS or just understand code or how this gets put together. It's a great option. Come join our streams, learn along the way with us. If you move to LoadPartnerTMS, you're going to have firsthand knowledge of how you build this stuff out. In addition to that, we obviously have our weekly updates that are going across our LoadPartner pages. If you just want to stay up to date with 15-minute video once a week, that's there. Building out a community through our Discord, GitHub discussions, and more stuff coming soon. We're really just doing something that's never been done before. People have talked about a true open source TMS a lot, but nobody's really done it. And we are. We're building a TMS in 2025, the first of its kind. And I'm super pumped. I think the industry needs it. Once people see it in the wild and see what it's capable of doing and what they're capable of doing with it, it's going to change the mindset for a lot. So if you're interested in getting involved, join our Discord, follow us on socials, jump into some of the live streams and follow along. Looking forward to a great year.